Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the League of Europe for round number 8 of season number 8, coming to you from the French Grand Prix. And, once again, this week I am going to be commentating by myself. It's very unfortunate, but Maverick is off doing other things. I wish he could be here, but Circuit Paul Ricard will give the drivers some interesting challenges as they head into this weekend. So, starting off just with the track, as you can see the thumbnail on the screen, we are at the French Grand Prix. 15 corners, 5.842 kilometers, and we will be having a total of 27 race laps at the beginning. We'll have a total of 27 race laps, and also it's the second sprint week of the League of Europe calendar, so a 9 lap long sprint race, so a third of the race distance, and then obviously a one-shot qualifying to start us off before we get into everything else. But let's just talk about the circuit for a little bit. So obviously 3 sectors, 2 DRS zones on this circuit, the one down the pit straight and one in between turn 7 and turn 8. That chicane that when the circuit was added to the calendar in 2018, everybody said should have been just one straight, should have taken out the chicane and would have lowered the track to 13 corners, but they didn't do that, and we are glad for it, because otherwise that middle sector would be the most boring sector in the history of sectors. But it should give us an interesting challenge, something new for the drivers to tackle this weekend. There isn't much grip here at France, but you do need quite a bit of straight line speed. As if you were to look at a track map, you would see that the straights are very long, and there are quite a few of them. But there are also some very slow mid-speed technical bits in the first and final sectors. But now, looking towards the championship standings, T-Brum currently leads us by 10 points to Connor O'Keefe, who won last time out, taking up 25 points. T-Brum only 5 points. And then Energetics in second in the championship, or in third in the championship, tied with his Red Bull teammate Harry Noirg, both on 75. Energetics picked up 2 points last week, and Harry Noirg also picked up 5 with T-Brum, so one of them picking up the fastest lap. Esteban finished in second last week, and he picked up a full 18 points to put him on 45 for his season total through 7 rounds. Jordan did not finish last week, but he's on 43. Jamie Ment is on 40. Saronja J. Hings and Ben Scott will round out the top 10, being on 38, 34, and 31 points respectively. Just Gamer is in 11th in the standings as of right now with 27 points, picking up a solid 8 last week out. And then we have Polypoles, Swip, Axel, and then Old School picking up a very nice result with that 3rd place last week, bringing his points total up to 18. He'll be in 15th place in the championship. Ghost Recon is in 16th, also on 18 points. And then we have Damon, Jav, Robertson, H. McGuire, Serial Killer, Marcy, Evil Dragon, Ibo, and Rumpelfuggle to round out the points scorers. United Bosnia is going to be joining us for the first time this week, as it'll be his first race in D4 this season. He's obviously on 0 points. And then Ekos Mats, who has not started any races yet. I've had quite a few ads. Oh, I'm not spectating. That is a problem. There we go. Yeah, completely forgot to press spectate. My bad, guys. But yeah, we will get into qualifying right now, as everybody begins to ready up, and we can get into this one-shot qualifying session. Who are we gonna watch with? That's gonna be the main question, really. We could watch with T-Brum. He's been pretty strong as of late. Or Connor O'Keefe, our last week's winner. Let's go with. I think we're gonna watch on board with T-Brum Connor O'Keefe. He won last week out. He deserves some screen time on the stream, and he'll be, hopefully, if he can finish his lap, the first person that we watch here for France, but we're going to transition with the beautiful League of Europe transition. There we go. So, yeah, heading into France, not the most enjoyable circuit. Many people like it, many people do not like it, but it can be enjoyable once you do find that nice balance between straight line speed and stability, but it is very difficult to find that balance. A wing, you can go for very low wings here and make your setup stable or just get comfortable with it, or you can go with high wings and then try and best the other drivers through the first and the third sectors. But I find that low wings is probably for the best, just because if you want to overtake it, that is your best bet. But if you do go with the higher wings, you would most likely be trying to just beat everybody, or you'd likely be qualifying up at the front and then just keep trying to keep everybody behind. But we shall see what it seems like the drivers will be going for. 20 seconds until we get into qualifying here, or into one-shot qualifying. And then we can get going with the 8th round of the championship. So, I don't believe there are any points for qualifying. So, no points on offer in this one-shot qualifying session. And I have no game audio? Why don't I have game audio? Hello? I'm not sure why I don't have game audio, but, yeah, I guess we'll just be riding on board with Axel Kurz now. So, heading down here into what will be turn 3, 4, and 5. I'm really not sure why I don't have game audio. Anyways, we'll sort it out later. Heading through turn 6, a little bit of a slide there for Axel, and then through turn 7, as I should probably get all this up as well. Oh, I heard that. I think it's just the game being glitched. As Ecos Mats and Marcy have both retired. Now with DRS open, then closing as we head into turn 8 and turn 9. Hop over the curb. 4th, you'd normally want to stay in 4th here, but going down to 2nd just to get the rotation is Axel. As we head through turn 9, that little left kink, not a corner, but into the flat-out right-hander of turn 10. Didn't quite catch the middle sector split. And now into 11. You want to go down 1, 2, 3, 4 gears. Just slowly as you wind your way through the corner. Short shifting to 5th, 6th, and then down to 4th, 3rd, maybe even 2nd. Nope, staying in 3rd for turn 12 and through the right-hander of 13. And then to this long winding left-hander of turn 14, the penultimate corner. Get back on the power and then braking right once again for the final corner of turn 15. Try to avoid that inside curb, and you can go over the exit curb, but it's usually not very fun. But Damon, it looks like Damon's going to be up on top in one-shot qualifying here on a 131.027. Harry Nowarg, 2.5 tenths back. T-Brum in 3rd, and that is one-shot qualifying there. Poldy Poles in 4th. I didn't see any of our major championship contenders up at the top there, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see once we do get to the order. So Damon, who's had strong showings in the past, had a podium in Imola as well, I do believe. Yeah, that 3rd place. He's going to be on, he's qualified fastest here in one-shot qualifying. Harry Nowarg in 2nd place. CPI T-Brum in 3rd. So yeah, there would be T-Brum, Poldy Poles, Axel Kurz, Jamie Matt up in 6th, as well as Old School up in 7th. Still a high position there for Old School. United Bosnia in 8th, Just Gamer in 9th, Jordan in 10th, Robert Sum, Connor O'Keefe, Ibo, Ben Scott, Jay Hings, Swip, Esteban, Saronje, and then Marcia Matz obviously retired. And the 3 or 4 before them invalidated. So, Damon on pole position. He usually looks quite strong in qualifying, as I've already mentioned him before, picking up that podium in Imola, but mistakes just tend to get in his way, hinder his progress through the championship, only having 15 points, being that 1 points finish that he had in Imola with 4 DNFs and a non-points finish to his name in Singapore. So, looking to get underway to get up into that midfield fight in the championship, and it should be interesting to see what he can do with the first with the first starting spot in the sprint race. The strategy here usually would be a soft or a just a medium tires. You can go for the softs, you can go for the hards, but the mediums are really the ideal tire. As I still don't have game sound. What is going on? I don't know what's going on. Oh, there we go. That is really loud, actually. Don't want it to be overpowering, really. So, yeah, Damon is going to be on pole position. Hair Noir second. CPI T-Brum in third. Let's get up all this stuff. The tires, everybody on mediums, except for Swip, who's interestingly enough on hards. Is strange considering you only do get one set of hards, so maybe there's some rain to come, and he thinks the mediums will be the better, or having two fresh mediums will be better, but I'm not really sure what Swip was thinking here. But on the formation lap, we can give a quick rundown of the constructor standings as well. So Mercedes lead the way with their two drivers being in first, obviously, with T-Brum and then Jordan being in sixth. And then second will be Red Bull, both of them being on 75 points, equaling out to a nice even 150. McLaren on 103, Ferrari on 67 in fourth, and then Alpha Tauri on 65 in fifth. Alfa Romeo have 59 points, with Haas being on 45 and sixth and seventh. And then only 1 point behind Haas is Alpine on 44 points. And then in 9th and 10th, we have Aston Martin and Williams being split by only 5 points. And so far, there are still 3 teams who have scored in every single race so far. That being Mercedes, McLaren, and Ferrari, the 2 Red Bulls, or neither Red Bull scoring in Imola. As we're getting ready to go here on the formation lap for the 8th round of the championship. Here in France, Damon lines up into his grid position. Jamie Met has been disqualified because he parked way past the line, I would assume. As everybody's just getting into their grid slots, Marcy or Ecos Met looking to line up a little bit further to the left. Let's see how the grid positions are looking for the drivers up front. It's all looking pretty straight. And let's now get up to the front. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. It's lights out, and away we go. Damon looking with a pretty decent start, but Harry Noir is going to get alongside him and around the outside of him here into turn 1. I think Axel Kurz is trying to get up the inside of his teammate. The Red Bull and the McLaren go side by side into turn 1 and 2, and Damon's around the outside of turn 2. Is he going to be into the lead? Harry Noir is still looking up his inside into turn 3. Here we go. The Red Bull and the McLaren going side by side, but the Red Bull will have to back out as we head through the windy bits of 3, 4, and now into turn 5 to 2. Hasses are still in 4th and 5th. The Red Bull and Ferrari of United Bosnia and Jamie Met go side by side through turn 6, and I think the Ferrari is just going to nip ahead as we head onto the back straight for the very first time. Old School's dropped their position to 7th as Jordan, he's already out of the race, has spun around into the walls. Esteban has gone with him, just not into the wall, and now we have a virtual safety car, and that is already Mercedes' chances of trying to extend their lead up at the top of the championship, taking a slight hit, with the Red Bulls being in 2nd and 7th, and T-Brum, our championship leader, only being in 3rd for the time being. I'm sure he can get up, but obviously that is really going to be that is going to hinder Jordan now, because he was up at the front, and now Jordan is going to be starting for the actual race all the way down in 20th, as well as Esteban. You can have safety cars here, as we can see already, but it's going to be difficult for him to get back up to the pack and make up any crucial positions. But here we go. We are racing once again. Damon with a clear lead up at the front. T-Brum, Axel Cruz, Poldy Poles, Jamie Met, United Bosnia all split pretty evenly. Connor O'Keefe is holding back Old School, Ben Scott, Robertson, and Jay Hings. Robertson looking for a move on Ben Scott in front of him into the final corner, but that is never going to be on, especially with how far back he is. Ibo, Jess, Mats, Swip, and Esteban. Is Mats looking for a move on Jess Gamer? into turn 1 around the outside at the Alfa Romeo and the Ferrari. The two Ferrari-powered cars, and Jess will just give that one up as Ecos Mats is up into 16th as Ibo is getting out of the way, kind of. Not really sure what's going on there, but it looks like Damon has cleared off into the lead. He's a second and a half clear of Harry Noir, and T-Brum is all over the back of the Red Bull. Let's see what they can do down towards turn 8. Harry Noir was a little bit wide there, so 7 getting a little bit loosey-goosey, as the kids like to say. And up into second goes T-Brum, and he's going to be now trying to chase down Damon. Harry Noir almost into the back of the Mercedes, though. He goes a little bit deep into the chicane, and that's going to help Axel Kurz stay within DRS once it does get enabled on the next lap. Axel Kurz, Pully Pulls, Jamie Matt, United Bosniak, Connor O'Keefe, Old School, Ben Scott, Robertson, all in this train. Robertson looking for a move. He's close, but not quite close enough as it stands right now. Into turn 11, he looks up the inside, just can't quite break late enough. Jay Hings falling slightly. Marcy Saronje putting on the pressure. Ecos Mats after picking off Jess Gamer. As who is that? That's Robertson, who spun around. Looks like he was not in the wall, but it'll be tough to say. But just as he was piling on the pressure to Jay Hings there, or Ben Scott, to one of the Alpha Towers, he makes that mistake and spins out of turn 11. And we're going to see that mistake from a few people, I'd imagine, once we do get to the full 50% race. As Damon still leading. Oh, and that's Damon, and that's what I was talking about earlier. The mistakes have creeped in. He was on pole position. He showed the pace, and just that mistake out of turn 2. He spun, and now he's down to the back of the field. He's going to be outside the top 12, and only the top 10 here in the sprint get points, and he's going to be down to P14, so he's going to have to make up quite a few positions if he wants to pick up any points, any amount of points really, from this sprint race. T-Brum will now assume the lead from Harry Noir, as there's another yellow flag. That is Ibo, I believe, as Robertson did pick up damage, and he is into the pits for a set of soft tires, just saving his set of mediums, as Esteban is overtaking Swip for P16. Not a notable change, but could affect a few things once we do get to the 50% race. As Robertson has picked up a 3-second time penalty in the first sector. Only in lap 3, coming to the end of it though, of this third lap here in the sprint race. Harry Noir trying to chase down T-Brum, but to no avail, as T-Brum is using his ERS. Both drivers down to around 35%, and Axel Kurz is struggling to stay with, although he does have more ERS. He will have DRS going into turn 1 here, and he'll tow the rest of this train along. Poldy Poles, Jimmy Met, United Boss, Connor O'Keefe, Old School, who's struggling slightly to stay with. Ben Scott, Jay Hings, Marcy Saronje, Ecos Mats, all in this train, and Damon is now falling back. He could have spun one lap earlier, and he probably could have snagged DRS. But now with everybody being in the train, I don't think he's going to have a chance at closing up. His Polly Poles has now dropped United Boston, and Jamie Met will be picking up the pieces, or will be attempting to pick up the pieces as we go on to this, as we go on to the back straight, as we through 5, 6, and now winding the power on for turn 7. The Ferrari shifting up through 6. And now through 7th gear, he's going to activate the DRS. He's half a second back going onto the straight. I don't think he's going to be quite close enough. The Red Bull showing very good straight line speed, but not enough to close up to the guys in front of him. But, however, opposite that, good enough to keep the Ferrari behind him. Connor O'Keefe there overtaking Jamie Met into turn 11 as the two Alpines have swapped places. And speaking of swapping places, Saronje has swapped ends there on his Alpine heading through turn 10, and he has dropped now all the way down to 17th. So the two Alpines still outside of the top 10, neither of them picking up points as it stands right now. Marcy only on 8% ERS as we are on lap 4 here heading into the final corner. He's lashed onto the back of this train though with Matt and Damon, who's just snagged DRS from the Alfa Romeo, so he'll be hoping to close up a little bit, try and make his way through. It'll be difficult for him, but he might just be able to do it. Esteban overtakes Jess Gamer for 14th. Swip on the back of this train as well on his hard compound tires. As Ben Scott, Old School, I think it was Old School, and Jamie Matt getting tangled up a little bit through turns 1 and 2. And now Ben Scott just on the back of this looking to capitalize, almost into the back of the of the Aston Martin is the Alpha Tower. Jay Hings on the back of this as well. So the two Alpha Towers getting a little rowdy behind the Aston Martin of Old School and the Ferrari of Jamie Met. I'm sure Old School will just be happy with the position that he's in right now. Anything else really to speak of? Connor O'Keefe has been, or United Bosnia was dropped by by the top four, or the top, well, second through fourth really, of Harry Noir, Axel Kurz, and Poldipos as T-Brum has cleared off into the lead. Connor O'Keefe now, after passing United Bosnia, has picked up the lead of this train. He is in 5th place. United Bosnia 6th. Jamie Met, who is almost out of DRS range, so after that fight with Old School on this lap, he might just be dropping as Damon and Ecosmats going side by side. Damon and Ecosmats have made contact through turn 11, and I'm not really sure what to think of that one. It looked like Damon sent it. Ecosmats got the cutback, and also got spun around, so he'll be down to 17th now. There are a lot of drivers looking for that 17th position. It seems to be pretty valuable to many people, as now Damon, his next victim, I hate to say victim, but the next driver he's going to be trying to overtake is going to be Marcy in P11, with Esteban 2.5 seconds back. Any other battles, or close battles on track? The two Alpha Towers still stuck behind the Aston Martin of Old School. Jamie Met barely snagged DRS, it looks like, on the pit straight. Is he going to be able to do enough through this first sector to keep hold of it from United Bosnia and Connor O'Keefe? It'd be kind of crucial for United Bosnia and Connor O'Keefe to break this DRS. Jamie Met with a little bit of a mistake there through turn 5 as Damon has picked up a 3-second time penalty, which won't hurt him too much in the end, as we have a few drivers around. That's Old School and Ben Scott have both picked up damage, and there's a McLaren there. That's Damon who's, wait, no, it's not. Yeah, it is Damon who spun around. Another mistake from the McLaren driver. Ben Scott has no front wing, it looks like, as he's going side by side with Ecos Mats. Mats is trying to keep it up the inside. Yeah, Ben Scott does not have a front wing. Does Old School have a front wing? Old School does have a front wing, so I'm guessing all that carbon fiber on the track would be Ben Scott's. Maybe Old School spinning and the Alpha Tower collecting him, but that doesn't open it up really, because Jamie Met got dropped on that lap. He wasn't going to have DRS, so that really pushes back Jay Hings, and then Marcy, who won't be able, or will have to catch on raw pace to Jamie Met. They won't be able to just sit in a DRS train, but also this opens up United Bosnia. He has no pressure from behind now, with Connor O'Keefe just in front of him, towing him along. Swip and Old School swapping places, or that'll be Old School into the pit lane. Any other drivers in the pit lane? No. Or, well, Ben Scott and Damon as well into the pit. So now let's look for any battles. If there's a yellow flag, that'll be Damon retiring from the session. I don't know why he did that, because he still would have been in front of Ibo and Robertson, but he'll be back for the 50% race in P18. Or starting from P18, 18 places from where he started in this race as well. So should be interesting to see where Damon can come out. But up at the front, T-Brum leads by 4.5 seconds, and just showing the pace that he has up at the front of this Division 4 grid. Harry Noir in second, 4.5 seconds behind, as I already mentioned, and keeping the two Haas boys in behind in third and fourth. I'm sure these guys would be really happy with this result either way. Connor O'Keefe 2.2 seconds behind them, with United Bosnia sort of kind of settling into this race and starting to find the groove and catching up to Connor O'Keefe with the use of the DRS. Jamie Met 2.5 seconds back, so still dropping from the two people in front of him. Jay Hings a second and a half back, and Marcy is now starting to catch up without Jay Hings having DRS. Jess Gamer 3 seconds behind that duo, as Swip 8/10 of a second behind on his hard tires. Still don't know why he's on the hard tires. And then Ecos Match just behind him. Sironde looking to close up as well. And then we have obviously the people who have spun or been in incidents. We have Old School, Robertson, Ben Scott, Ibo, all on soft tires. But we are on to lap number 8, as Marcy and Jay Hings getting very close into turn 1. The Alpine unable to make a move as of right now. Looking into turn 3, I don't think the Alpine is going to be quite close enough on the Alpha Tower. And I'll just have to pray for Jay Hings to make a mistake out of 6 or 7 to make this move. Because if he does make this move, he might be able to just barely slingshot onto the back of JB Met. And as I say that, Jay Hanks goes for a very big spin and drops himself out of the points. He'll drop himself out of the top 13 as well. He'll be down to 14th as Poldy Poles and Harry Noir, or no, Poldy Poles and Axel Kurz are fighting. The two Hasses are deciding that they want to fight for a position here, as this isn't a 50% race, just fighting for that one extra point when they could be fighting Harry Noir for a possible 2 extra points, depending on the position that you're in. But it'll be interesting to see. I think T-Brum kind of has these 10 points wrapped up for himself. Harry Noir in second, still leading Poldy Poles. Axel Kurz. Axel Kurz, no ERS to his name, really. Harry Noir has just enough to defend, I'd say, and Poldy Poles has just enough to attack. So, should be quite the spectacle as we get on to the final lap. Now T-Brum will lead us across the line as we are on lap 9 and 9 here in France. Esteban still behind Marcy. Swip, Jess, Ecos, Matt's all still close together, but let's watch this battle up at the front. Axel Kurz, Poldy Poles, and Harry Noir all snaking their way through turns 1 and 2 right now, as T-Brum is off and into the lead at 5.7 seconds, and there's nothing stopping him really from doing this again once we get in a few minutes time, once we do get to the 50% race. Axel Kurz all over the back of Poldy Poles as they wind through the first sector and now through the middle sector. As Connor O'Keefe is also, if he just had a few more laps, he would have been onto the back of this fight. But now let's watch. Poldy Poles, Harry Noir using all of his ERS. Poldy Poles using all of his ERS and the DRS to his advantage. The Red Bull will go to the inside, the Haas to the outside. They're going to go side by side into turn 8. Harry Noir trying to keep it on the inside, but Poldy Poles is around the outside and he has the position. Now Axel Kurz trying to get involved. Up the inside of the Red Bull, just shows his nose, but not quite enough to keep the Red Bull from squeezing him out of that corner. And now Poldy Poles, who still has ERS to burn. Harry Noir doesn't have much to burn, but it's using all of it. Poldy Poles, he should use his ERS. Harry Noir looking around the outside of turn 11. I don't think it's going to be quite close enough. Poldy Poles understeering wide, though. Harry Noir up the inside, and there's contact between the two drivers. That is going to cause Harry Noir to drop down the place and go off the track, and Axel Kurz will be up to third as well. But as we look up to the front, CPI T-Brum, he's been dominant already in this race. He started from third, made his way past Harry Noir, and then with Damon's spin, just cleared off into the lead, did not have to do anything more, and he's going to win this sprint race and pick up 10 crucial points in his championship bid over Connor O'Keefe. Poldy Poles will finish second as Axel Kurz. What did Axel do? That's strange, but Axel Kurz just lost 2 positions on the line for no reason. So Harry Noir will finish in third. Connor O'Keefe picks up 6 points, I believe. So only losing forward to T-Brum in this race after starting quite low down the grid. Axel Kurz will finish 5th. United Bosnia 6th. Jamie Met in 7th. Esteban 8th. Marcy 9th. And then Jess Gamer picking up P10. From that, let's see if we can get the position changes. So driver of the day would go to Marcy. From 19th on the grid up to 9th, a good, very good drive from him. And obviously, the worst driver of the day would be Damon retiring in the pit lane after losing 18 places and putting it on pole position. But that is going to be the sprint race over and done with. Just waiting for Ibo to come through the final corner and finish that one. But it was really interesting to see how many drivers made mistakes. I'm sure Old School will be gutted. Ben Scott will be gutted for crashing into the side of Old School after I'd imagine what happened as he spun in front of him, but you can never really know. But T-Brum takes home the 10 points and a very crucial race result. And there you can see the results once again. So T-Brum wins from Poldy Poles, Harry Noir, Connor O'Keefe, Axel Kurz, United Bosnian, Jamie Met, Esteban, Marcy, Jess Gamer, Ecos Mats, Saronje, Jay Hings, Swip, Old School, Robertson, Ben Scott, Ibo, Damon, and Jordan JGT, who retired on the first lap after that crash. Damon retiring in the pit lane after his spin. It'll be interesting to see how they can both make their way through the field. It's a little cloudy here at the circuit, Paul Ricard. We'll have to wait to see the driver's tires, but it does look like it is going to be mediums or hards, most likely for most of the drivers. I believe the hard medium strategy is the better one out of the two, but you can never really know for sure. I'd say if you're starting a little bit lower down, start on mediums, hope for an early safety car in between like lap maybe 3 and 10. That's really kind of your sweet spot there. But and then if you're on the hards, just hope that there is no safety car up until your pit window, really. Screw over the medium runners, however many there will be. I'm sure there'll be quite a lot. There'll probably be more medium runners than hard runners, but we will look to see. And I was wrong. There are many more hard runners than there are medium runners. So everybody on hards, bar Esteban, Marcy, P8, P9, Swip, and P14. All three of them are on the mediums. Ibo in 18th is on softs. An interesting decision. Looking for an early safety car there. And then Jordan JT in 20th is also on the medium, so it should be interesting to see. Not too much to talk about really to discuss, but I guess just watch out for Esteban, Marcy, P8, P9. They'll be quite the scene once we do get into around that 5-6, because they're going to start causing some chaos, especially once the tires begin to go off. So just coming to the end of this formation lap for the full 50% race, 27 laps, coming to you from the Circuit Paul Ricard here in France. Just going to run you through the order really quick once again. It'll be T-Brum and Polypols from the front row, Harry Nowar and Connor O'Keefe from the second row, then Axel Kurz, United Bosnia, 5th, 6th, Jamie Matt in 7th, and then alongside him will be Esteban on the mediums, and just behind him will be Marcy in P9 also on the mediums. Jess Gamer finished P10 in the sprint race, and she'll be on the hards. Matt Cerrone, Jay Hinks in 11th, 12th, and 13th will be on the hards. Swip in 14th will be on the mediums, and then there's an all Aston Martin 8th row in 15th and 16th, and then Ben Scott on the hards, Ibo on the soft, Damon on the hards, and then Jordan JT in last on the mediums as they've all slotted into their grid positions. Let's see what it looks like for the front view. T-Brum will lead us away as there's 5 lights, and away we go here in France for the 8th round of the championship of season number 8, as Polypols has had the worst start out of everybody in the top 5. Axel Kurz, Connor O'Keefe, Harry Nowar all up his inside, and he's been spun around. What was that? That was one of the Alfa Romeos, and Polypols has been absolutely ruined. I think that was Esteban on the medium tires, looking for a move on those medium tires up the inside, just couldn't make it work, tapped around the Haas driver, and now no safety car yet, but I imagine there's quite a few drivers with damage, because that was almost half the field that got caught up in that Esteban, Cerrone, Ibo, all main factors in that one. Anybody trying to just find anyone else with damage? Jay Hinks has spun around where Jordan JT retired on the first lap of the sprint race. Just Gamer being overtaken by Robertson, as Robertson has made it up to 8th place. He's had a very good start. Let's look at the position gains real quick. Yeah, Damon's up to 7th. Ben's got up to 6th. They made up 12 and 11 positions respectively as Axel Kurz is off the track. Connor O'Keefe up the inside of the Haas driver. And I think Connor O'Keefe is just going to get that one done. 1 place gain there for Connor O'Keefe. Harry Noir is in second with the place gained, of course, with Pody Bulls finishing second in the sprint, and now now has retired. As Old School and Matt's swapping places. Marcy and Matt swapping places as well. I think Matt might just have damage. Yep, Matt is going to be into the pit lane. Anyone else following him in? T-Brim passes lap up at the front. Jordan JT is in as well on his medium tires. That's awful for the Mercedes driver. But let's look at the position of the game as Damon is up to 5th now, as Ben Scott has dropped 2 positions somehow. But yeah, Harry Noir up 1, Connor O'Keefe, Axel Kurz all up 1. Damon up to 5th from, I think it was 19th on the grid, and 14 places gained. Jamie Met up 1 position to 6th. Ben Scott up 10 from 17th. Robert Sum up 8 from 16th, and then Jess Gamer up 1. Swip up 4, and then United Bosnia down 5. Old School up 12 as he makes a mistake, up 2 now as he makes a mistake. Marcy down 3, and Saronje Esteban down 2 and 7 respectively. Ibo's up 2, and then Jay Hings, Ecos Mad down 4 and 7 respectively, and then Jordan up 1, obviously starting up 1 after retiring on the first lap in the sprint, and having to make another very early pit stop in this race here, along with Ecos Mad. Jordan on to hards, Matt's on to mediums, but as we get the intervals back up, you can already see that T-Brum is streaking away into the lead of this race. Harry Noir is in second, Connor O'Keefe in third. None of those 3 will have DRS going on to this next lap. Axel Kurz is in 4th. Damon is in 5th, looking to make a move. The 2 McLarens having a strong showing early on here. Jamie Matt just being dropped out of DRS for a moment. He's in 6th right now. Ben Scott 7th. Robert Summon 8th. They all have DRS. Jess Gamer just getting dropped out, but Swip on his medium tires just in behind should be able to help her situation if he can breeze past down the back straight and just latch them on to the DRS. That would be really nice for their race, as well as United Bosnia just behind them. That would really help him. Marcy 12th, Old School in 13th. Hoping for better days when he could have been in this train if he hadn't spun in qualifying, or in one-shot qualifying, but we shall see from now on how this race will plan out. Oh, and that's a Haas around. That's another Haas around and off into the runoff there. Axel Kurz down to 10th position from 5th there. Damon possibly getting involved. I'm not entirely sure how you could really spin there, but it's kind of difficult to say considering I didn't catch it. Ben Scott, that means Ben Scott's up to 5th after also overtaking Jamie Met. Robertson up to 6th now with overtaking Jamie Met, and Swip made his way past Jess Gamer. So tried to slingshot his way into DRS, didn't quite get it. And now that's really not going to help them, as Jess Gamer made a mistake, and Axel Kurz is going to be up to 9th now. So the Haas driver showing the pace that he had up until that spin or that mistake or that contact or whatever happened there. But I'm sure he'll be able to make his way possibly past Swip if he can nudge DRS, which I think he'll be able to. United Bosnia up past Jess now into 10th. Red Bull goes a little bit deep into turn 3 there, but we'll line it back up for 4 and 5 as they'll exit onto the straight. Axel able to snatch DRS from Swip. Swip unable to get it from Jamie Met up in front of him. It's a 10th and a half, 2 tenths separating the Ferrari and the Williams there. As I can't get my words out. Axel looking up the inside. Oh, that's contact between him and Swip, and that's bound to be license points or a penalty for the Haas driver. We caught that on stream. There's no running from that one, Axel. That has got to be some sort of punishment from the stewards. They're just completely murdered Swip there. And I'm sure Swip is fuming. He was in a pretty decent result. Or he was in a pretty decent position there as well. But obviously still a long race to go. 22 laps, 23 laps left to go in this one. So obviously still a long way to go. Being 3 full sprint races is the 50% race. Oh, we shall see how things do indeed plan out. Damon and Connor O'Keefe, Damon was attempting to overtake Connor O'Keefe. Connor O'Keefe has much more ERS, who's now using it to close onto the back of Harry Nawag and at the same time pull away from Damon as he got down towards turn 1. And what is that I see? Is that another Axel Kerr's mistake or contact or whatever it was? Because he's now down to P15 with Swip. Bitter rivals will meet again here down for the battle of P14. As United Bosnia has also had a spin as well. That looks much more spin-like from United Bosnia. He's down to P15. So now, the battle of the two old rivals will go between Swift and Axel Kurz. Ben's got picked up a 3-second penalty in P5, just cutting the chicane probably. Axel Kurz up the inside, completely cuts the corner, and will stay behind. Some interesting racecraft there from the Haas driver. So he'll be forced to stay behind now for a little while longer. Marcy Saronji still getting close, within 0.3 of a second. Many times throughout the laps, Saronji 3.6 seconds, however, behind Jamie Robertson, who is latched onto the back of Ben Scott, who is falling away from Damon and Connor O'Keefe and Harry Nawag. And now Damon faces his real first challenge of trying to make his way past Connor O'Keefe and then getting onto the back of Harry Nawag and possibly, just possibly, catching up to Chamberlain, because we saw in the sprint he does have pace, does Damon. He just needs to find it and not make the mistake. Damon and Connor O'Keefe still getting close as Damon picks up a 3-second time penalty on the back, or on the exit, or the entry to turn 6 there. That's a strange one. You normally don't see penalties given there. Axel Kurz also picking up a 3-second time penalty through the first sector. But Damon on the back of Connor O'Keefe, unable to do anything as Connor O'Keefe not willing to go for a move on Harry Nawag at this early stage in the race. All three of them being on the hard compounded tires, looking to go pretty decently long into this race, maybe 10 more laps roughly. For them is Jess and Marcy swap positions, as Marcy and Old School also swap positions. So the two oldies, if you will, Old School and Jess Gamer, fighting it out now for P9 and 4 points in the week of Europe. What a day it is here in LOE Division 4 for these two Titans to be fighting on track. Esteban makes his way past United Bosnia for P14. Axel Kurz dropping away from Swip out of DRS range now, as Swip has pulled within DRS range of Marcy, Old School, and Jess Gamer. Just up in front of them, 5.2 seconds clear, is Saronji, who's 2.4 seconds behind the Trame with the following of Jamie Robertson and Ben Scott, still dropping away slightly from the second place train behind Harry Nawag. And Connor O'Keefe is Damon. So he needs to make a move soon, or he doesn't. Well, yeah, let me re-say this. Let me try it again. He doesn't really need to overtake. However, if he do want pit priority and also to stay on the track, he needs to stop doing that. He picked up 3-second time penalty already in this race. That possibly could have been another warning. Obviously, you saw the oversteer on your screen. Damon looking for a move on Connor O'Keefe. He looks to the outside. Is he going to get boxed in by the Red Bull of Harry Nawag as he's around the outside? And he's going to have the inside line for the chicane. That's a good move there from Damon. He's going to be up past his teammate. And now he's going to have Harry Nawag, who's not latched onto a DRS right now, up just in front of him. And he'll have his teammate. It will be very difficult for his teammate to make an overtake anymore because Damon will have DRS, so Connor O'Keefe will be relegated to a position of non-overtaking, unless he can pick up a pretty good run and use all of that ERS, but he will stay in 4th for the time being. Ben Scott dropping back to 5 seconds now, as Robert Tubman is in 6th and 7th, with Jamie Metz. Saronji still not able to catch, neither is Jess Gamer, who has Old School, Marcy, Swip, and Axel Kurz all behind them now. So Axelco is catching this train as well. Esteban is also not the furthest place person back, but now has picked up a 3.65 penalty. So on aggregate, this is roughly 4.2 seconds behind as United Bosnia 15th within DRS range of the Alfa Romeo in front of him. Jay Ings 1.8 seconds back off of DRS, and then Ecos Mats is 17th. Jordan, JT, and Ibo will swap places now. And now on to lap 8. Damon looking to make his move. Only 3.5 tenths of a second back as we head onto the back straight through turn 7. As there's someone has spun, we have an incident between United Bosnia and Swip. Oh, that's so unfortunate for both of them. Damon and Harry Noir swapping places. Connor O'Keefe using a little bit of his DRS to try and get involved. Looked at the inside, but thinks better of it and will stay on the racing line for the time being. Is he going to be able to get the better exit? Is Connor O'Keefe. I think Harry Noir just going to latch onto the slipstream. Damon doesn't have any ERS to play with, but Harry Noir and Connor O'Keefe both do. However, Harry Noir will just let Damon stay in front for now. And just as I was taking a water break, Damon decides to do the unthinkable and have a little bit of a spin. He's down to 7th behind, or just in between Jamie Met and Cerrone J. So another big train for Damon to work through here, and he's already used almost all of so it's going to be a long day at the office for the McLaren driver. However, if he really did want to, he could put right now, put a set of hard tires on, and I think that's something that Ben Scott should be doing as well. Well, he's on hards. Never mind. Ignore me. Any one of the mediums would probably be pitting from now, as is almost... Oh no. That's not good. That cannot possibly be good. Why did the race end? That cannot be good. Alright, well, we're gonna switch this then. Since I'd rather not show you my home screen and stuff. Let's rejoin the lobby. I'd imagine it's just a me problem. And there we go. Alright. Back into the lobby we go. Well, that's just fantastic, as now people are starting to pit. So Marcy has pit onto a set of hard tires from his mediums, I'd imagine. And now he just costs Mats and United Bosnia going side by side into turn 3. And Mats will make that overtake work, possibly cutting the corner there. Cerrone J and Robert Sum getting close, with the Alpine not close enough to the back of the Aston Martin. Oh, can't see my screen. Yep, that's a good call out there. There we go. Back to the screen we go. So yeah, Cerrone J in 6th. Robert Sum is still in 5th. Damon up to 4th. Has anyone pit? I don't think anyone has made their pit stops here out of the people. Yeah, as Damon's picked up his 6th, or has picked up 6 seconds, or another 3 seconds of penalties, making his total 6. So nobody stops yet except for Ecos Mats, Marcy, Jordan JT, as that is another mistake there from Damon. The Aston Martin of Robertson gonna get DRS. Did not have DRS. And so now Saronje looking for the possibility of a 2-car overtake. Past Robertson already up the inside of Damon. Damon just closes the door on the Alpine driver, and he did not have much space to play with there. Did Saronje. Robertson in 6th still. Trying to keep as many positions as possible, but the Aston Martin falls behind the Alpine after that mistake from Damon, getting a perfect exit as well off of the final corner. Now with Saronje, let's see what the Alpine could do to Damon. Our pole sitter after one shot qualifying is not going to be close enough. Not enough low wing or ERS. And the DRS not quite towing him up to the back of Damon, but Damon will stay in front once again. Here on lap 11, almost lap 12, as T-Brum will cross the line in just a few seconds time to start lap number 12. Damon Saronje still getting very close out on track. Saronje almost passing him a few times as Damon is into the pit lane. That's early. And he's also sped, so that'll put him up to 11 seconds as Damon now retires in the pit lane. Interesting. I mean, he could have easily picked up points, but I think that was just a retire either way. So now everybody will move up a said position. Anybody behind Damon, of course. So let's give a quick run through of the order. So we have T-Brum leading by almost 10 seconds. Connor O'Keefe in 2nd. Harry Nowak, Saronje 3rd and 4th. Robertson and Jamie Met in 5th and 6th. Robertson with 3 seconds penalties. Jess Gamer, Esteban, and then Ben Scott, as well as Axel Kurz, all picking up 3 seconds time penalties. Robertson also having 3 seconds, I believe. Where do I find it? It's right here, isn't it? Yes. Robertson also having 3 seconds. Axel Kurz was 6 seconds of time penalties in 10th, and then Jay Hings in 11th, just eating his lunch or dinner at this point right now in the middle of the race. Not much to do for him. 3.2 seconds in front, 7.2 behind to Mats. Speaking of Mats and Old School, both on 3 seconds of penalties, right up next to each other. United Bosnia behind them, and then followed by them is Marcy, Jordan, and Swip. So, once again, not too much in terms of strategy-wise here at France. It's a pretty easy, soft or medium hard, or hard medium. Tires don't stress too much unless you're putting them through way too much. As Saronje picks up a 3 second time penalty. I believe that's going to be his 2nd penalty of this race. He's still in 6th. Anybody in the pits? Yes, Esteban coming into the pits from his medium tires for a set of hard. He caused Matt staying out. Yeah, that would be it. That would be exactly what happened there for Esteban. Looking up the front, T-Brum really could just pit whenever he really wanted to be completely honest. He has the pace to make it through all the way. Connor O'Keefe in 2nd, still trying to do damage limitation as of right now. Just trying to keep the boys in check. So, yeah, T-Brum just leading the way. Axel Kurz with Jeff Gamer making his way past is Axel Kurz. And another close battle is George Kittle. Why did I say George Kittle? Jamie Met and Robertson getting quite close together, quite acquainted with each other out on the circuit. Is Jamie Met going to be able to make a move on this lap? He has the ERS. Robertson doesn't have much ERS. Before our driver looks to the outside, switches back to the inside, and is going to have that move done. Oh. Yeah, Jamie Mack making a good move there. Axelker's still up behind Ben Scott, who is derating. And that's really about it. Nothing else, really. Here on lap number 14, hard runners will begin to come. Will be beginning to come into the pits very soon. I'm still surprised that Mads is out on the track as of right now. Not really sure what's going on, but yeah, T-Brum still leads by 10.5 seconds. As Robertson is behind Jamie Matt by half a second, or 50 seconds, or 500 minutes, either one. So, should be interesting to see what happens once the pit stops do come around. Connor O'Keefe, Harry Noir, neither of them taking the plunge and going for a pit stop. Let's see what Jamie Meta skips, Robertson skips, Saronje. Oh. Once again, as of right now, not the most exciting stage of the race, but once the pit stops do get to happening, I'm sure it'll get quite a bit more interesting. Cvia T-Brum will come out roughly around Jamie Matt and Robertson, so that could be quite the show. But you never really know what's going to be going on in these races, since everybody's kind of split up at the moment. Just checking back in here on lap number 15. T-Brum still leads by over 10 seconds to Connor O'Keefe and Harry Noir. As Harry Noir, finally we get to something that is happening in this race. Harry Noir going for the undercut on Connor O'Keefe. The Red Bull driver is going to be into the pit lane. Jamie Met doing the exact same, looking to gain a little bit of time on Robertson, but however, Robertson follows him into the pit lane, and as I say that, Jamie Met picks up a 5-second time penalty. Saronje, Ben Scott, Axel Kurz, Jess Gamer, and Jay Hings all staying out here on lap number 15. There's not going to be much further to go once the mediums, or once everybody throws on their set of mediums. Harry Noir just coming out just in front of Jay Hings. He's going to need to get those tires warmed up. They should be warmed up by the middle sector chicane and definitely through the final sector, but however, Harry Noir has a decent amount of clean air just to make sure he gets everything that he needs. Jay Hings, 7th. Ecos Mats, 8th. United Bosnian, 9th. Jamie Matt in 10th. Old School Robertson still in this train as well. The two Aston Martins swapping places there. Robertson will go in front of Old School as United Bosnia takes the chicane a little bit wide, almost squeezing Robertson into his car and into the wall. As now, more pit stops up at the front. Connor O'Keefe is going to be in with James Carner. Carner? Wait. What am I even saying? Connor O'Keefe is into the pit lane, looking to make an undercut on T-Brum, even though it probably won't do too much. T-Brum just going for the fresher tire, just looking for a gap in the traffic. Saronje in 3rd into the pits as well. Ben Scott will stay out another lap. Jess in, Jay Hings in. So the AlphaTauri used a split strategy, although Ben Scott could have pit first. Ecos Mats and his 14-lap old medium tires will be in the pit lane very soon. Very soon. I am certain of it. Jamie Met in 7th now on the medium tires, still behind Ecos Mats. He should get up to 6th with the Alfa Romeo pitting. But yeah, here we go. Robertson 7th, United Bosnia 8th, Old School in 9th, Esteban in 10th, Saronje, Axel Kurz, Marcy, Jess Gamer, Jay Hings, and then Swip, Jordan, Ivo, the rest of the team. And now, with everybody in the pit lane, CPI T-Room will have a free pit stop to make, as well as we'll just give Ben Scott a quick little fade, you know. But yeah, there we go. CPI T-Room into the pit lane. So T-Brum trundling down the pit lane at a solid 37 miles an hour. As Zimbo picks up a 3-second time penalty. T-Brum will be out of the pit lane and well clear of Ben Scott. Ben Scott still has a pit, or well, has pit one time in this race, but there's no way those tires go to the end. Connor O'Keefe in 3rd, followed by Harry Noir, Matt, who just picked up 5 seconds speeding penalty. Jamie Matt Robertson, United Bosnia. They swap positions, I think. Nope, United Bosnia is just in the pit lane. I guess we'll kind of just have to wait for everybody to pit to see how the order shakes out. What is that? Matt's United Bosnia in, Swip into the pits as well. 3 drivers in on this lap, or at the end of this lap. Some people still waiting for something to make their substitutions. United Bosnia for the keeper, and then Matt and Turner for, I'm not really sure, but CPI, all I know is that CPI T-Brum is still leading this race and is still absolutely dominant. The one thing I was not expecting was Ben Scott from the, what I think is the back of the grid. Yep, the back of the grid is up to 3rd place here. And yet, you're ranked number 1. Dylan, apparently, has better odds than you. Anyway, too much fantasy football. T-Brum leads from Connor O'Keefe. Harry Noir, because we have yellow flags. I'm guessing that's just one of the lap cars. Ben Scott, Jamie Matt, Robertson, Old School, Saronje, Esteban, Axel Kurz, all in the top 10. And then we have Jess Gamer, Jordan JJT, Ecos Mats, United Bosnia, and Swip. So, not many matches playing today. Not many things going on today as well. Saturday, you know. But Saronje sets the fastest lap of the race on his medium tires, picking up DRS from Old School as he goes along. Jay Hings and Marcy getting very close together out on track as well. The AlphaTauri will look around the outside of the Alpine. I think he's going to be clear even before the braking zone. And he's up into P11. D. Gabry saying, let's go T-Brum. In the chat, T-Brum doing very, very well in this race so far, leading by almost just under 11 seconds as Saronje, as Old School, has spun around again. He already made the mistake once in the sprint race, and he's now made it once again in the 50% race. He's down to 10th. He only lost a few positions, but that's going to absolutely cook his very, very, very old hard tires. And now he should be forced into the pit lane. But up at the front, T-Brum still running away with this. Not quite as much anymore. It's a very light jog now for the Mercedes driver. Connor O'Keefe still in 2nd place. Harry Noir in 3rd. Ben Scott 4th. Jamie Met in 5th. And now that almost everybody's out of DRS range bar, Harry Noir and Connor O'Keefe, Jay Hings and Old School, who are followed by both Marcy and Jess Gamer. Everybody besides that is out of DRS, so there's not too much to speak of but we will ride on board with Ben Scott, or Harry Noward, and Connor O'Keefe. And just wait till something interesting happens in this race as Ben Scott picks up another 2-second time penalty. We can bring up the penalties real quick. Connor O'Keefe with 3, Ben Scott with 6, Jamie Matt with 5 for speeding into the pit lane, and then Robert Saronje Esteban all on 3. Axel Kurz on 6, Old School, and Jay Hings on 3 as well, and then Vikas Mats on 8, Swip and Ibo on the 3 and 6 in terms of points. Jay Hings and Old School now getting very close together out on track. Obviously, of course, this is a battle for position on track as both of them have 3-second time penalties. Now Jay Hings looking to the inside. Is he going to be able to pull this off toward the end of the race? I'm not really sure. However, Marcy and Jess Gamer are now all onto the back of this train as well. So shaping up for quite the decent amount of action. Is just barely the end of this race. CPI T-Bird picks up fastest lap in this one, now leading by 12 seconds over Connor O'Keefe. Marcy only 0.3 of a second behind. Just Gamer about a half a second, just under 0.4 really. Behind Marcy, just in behind them. However, Jamie Mann and Ben Scott, as Ben Scott actually is just into the pit lane for a new front wing and a set of soft compound tires. I believe that's what Mark is going to have to do. Esteban and Ben Scott still walking room. And let's see. The two Alpha Towers now are like Aston Martin. They're just both on top of each other. Jeez. Jay Hings unable to produce an overtake on his teammate named Ben Scott. Connor O'Keefe still leading Harry Noward by almost 12 seconds. Or no, by only a few tenths of a second. But Harry Noward is leading Jamie Matt by almost 12 seconds. Robert Sum leading Saronje by 3. Saronje leads Esteban by 4.5. So ideally we'd like to get more than 4.5, but or less time. Either way, whichever one works, but yeah. Well, T-Brum still leading here on lap number 22, leading by 12.5 seconds to Connor O'Keefe, who was just almost dropped Harry Noward from his DRS. Let's go check and see if he did actually get it, and he did get it, so he'll be getting in a straight line. He's not getting too much, so Connor O'Keefe running a pretty low downforce setup, and I think that would be probably the right decision if you can just pull it off through the first and the final sector, but many people cannot. Doing that 12 seconds back. Robertson 3.4, Saronje 3.0, Esteban 5.338 are the gaps, so a lot of gaps as Mats and Old School will swap places. I think that's just going to be Old School getting into the pit lane for another set of soft tires, trying to equal or best Mats' fastest lap attempt. The most intriguing battle out on track as of right now. Well, there's two of them. It's Ben Scott versus Jay Hings for... Oh, wait, no, it's not. It's Ben Scott versus Axel Kurz for P8. Alpha Tower getting close. Ben Scott setting the fastest lap of the race as they go into lap number 23. The Alpha Tower are on the outside of the Haas into turn 1, and he's going to get that move done so. As Ben Scott, I'm sure, would love to say it. Who's this player? Isn't that like Clyde Edward Tolaire or something? But yeah, just thinking about NFL fantasy, really, as week 2 is coming up very soon, and this week Marcy Pitts, what I'm guessing is first set of soft tires. Yep, Swip will be up to 13th position, and that means Swip only has to catch 18 seconds in order to beat Bosnia 2 points. Ben Scott asked Axel Kurz to leave him alone for a little bit. Oh, and who is that? Oh, I think it's just Ibo. Oh, I thought it was someone important. Or, sorry, I thought it was someone in the points, but it's not. It's just Ibo spinning at turn 12. But as we are now halfway through lap 24, and now officially with T-Brum anyways, past the 90% mark, you will, ooh, is that Ibo? Yeah, it's Ibo. Jay Hanks has picked up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Oh, very no. Oh, very no. Let's take a quick look at the boys. Yeah. Already almost through this 27-lap race. As Swift picks up a 3-second time penalty, that will not affect him at all because the only driver that can capitalize from it is outside of 3 seconds because Matt has a penalty, as there is another spin that will be Marcy just in front of the leader. T-Brum leading by 13 seconds. And yeah, so top 25 as we have another spinner. Is that old school? Yes, it's only Mark, or no, it's not. It is a William. Is it Ibo? It can't be Ibo. I have no idea who it is then, but just riding on board really with CPI T-Brum, as there's nothing else really going on besides Ben Scott and Axel Kurz, who have just been swapping every few laps or so, but with only 2.5 laps left to go, T-Brum still winning this race as of right now, leading by 12.5 seconds with a 3-second penalty. Ooh, as there's a McLaren round, it's Connor O'Keefe, who, impossible contact with Harry Noir, has been spun around at the middle sector chicane, and now he's down to third for sure. He does have a 5-second penalty, though, attached to his name. Let's see if the court will do anything about it. So, yeah. As T-Brum is now on to the penultimate lap of the race, lap 26 of 27, leading by 14 whole seconds. I could have easily assumed what was going to happen this race. So not doing quite enough. Here is Saronji and Jamie Met, as is the yellow flag. Oh, who is that? It's an Alpine. It's Marcy. Boo. But all jokes aside, T-Rum still leads. Saronje and Jamet are still friends. Wait, what did I even say, dude? I don't even know what I'm saying. Oh my god, it's ridiculous. As Ben Scott is retired in the pit lane. Yeah, unfortunate there for Ben Scott. Got caught up in that incident in the sprint race with old school CPI T-Rums coming out of the final corner for the penultimate time to start the final lap. I'll just ride on board with him because there's not much else to do in this race, really. As T-Rum is leading by 15.5 seconds and is surely going to... Geez, that was almost him dead. Is surely going to win this race. Harry Noir in second, cleared away from Connor O'Keefe. Connor O'Keefe only has to stay 3 seconds in front of Saronje, but he stays 9.5 seconds in front of Saronje. Jamie in fifth still has 2 extra seconds on Robertson. So then we have Esteban, and we have Axel Kurz in 7th and 8th. But let's get on board with CPI T-Brum because he's been absolutely dominant in this Grand Prix. He may have picked up the 3-second time penalty, but it's not really going to matter in the end. He's leading as they head through the middle sector split. He's leading by 15.9, almost 16 seconds. An absolutely inspiration of a father. It's going to be Terry who is taking over. But yeah, T-Rum being amazing in this race as Esteban picks up a 3-second time penalty right at the end of the race. T-Rum will leave all the way to the line because he has finished first once again here in division number 4. Harry Noir still miles back, 16.5 seconds for reference between T-Rum and Harry Noir. Harry Noir will take home P2 in this one, and then Connor O'Keefe will lose another 10 points, I want to say. Lose another 10 points to the winner of America. Yeah, I will only lose 10 points after already losing 2 in the sprint, I believe. But anyway, Saronje finishes 4th, Jamie Matt finishes 5th, Robertson finishes 6th, Esteban finishes 7th, Axel Kurz, Jay Hings 8th and 9th, and Just Gamer will take home P10 as they both beat Jay Hings to the line with the penalties. Only 87,000 separating United Bosnia and Jay Hings in the end, but United Bosnia will pick up the points instead. And then we'll have Swip Cosmetics Jordan rounding us off in an old school in P15 after his few spins. But yeah, I don't think I'm gonna do interviews today because I am absolutely knackered. I am completely dead. I have no energy at all. So yeah, I think that's gonna call it. We'll run through the order real quick, and then we'll get you guys going on your afternoon. So Saronje picks up the driver of the day from the in-game fans. We'll see how many positions he picked up, did Saronje. As we have the podium celebrations for T-Brum here in Brandon Lee. But yeah, there are the final standings. T-Brum ends up with the maximum points without the fastest laps. So we can head over to the race results real quick. So yeah, T-Brum wins. Harry Noir will finish 2nd in the race, and then Connor O'Keefe followed by Saronje, Jamie Met, Robertson, Esteban, Axel Kurz, Jess Gamer, and United Bosnia. will be the top 10 in the 50% race. Jay Hings and Swip picking up the final 2 points positions, and then Ecos, Matt, Jordan, JT, Old School, Marcy, and Ben Scott being the rest of the finishers. Ben Scott being 3 laps down with the fastest lap, however. And then we had Ibo, Damon, and Pulty Pulls all not finished. In the final standings for the weekend, though, we have T-Brum, Harry Noward, Connor O'Keefe, Jamie Metz, Saronji, Axel Kurz, Robertson, Pulty Pulls, Esteban, United Bosnia, and Just Gamer being the last finisher. 11 people scoring points in this one, and well, it's going to be pretty interesting getting into the next week. I'm not sure where we're going for the next Grand Prix. I want to say it's Australia, but I'm not entirely sure. Yes, next week we are heading to Australia, and then to Hungary, and then to Baku, being the next 3 weeks. So we'll look forward to seeing you there. And from myself, QVR Packer, and everybody at LOE, I hope we see you next week for the Australian Grand Prix. Round 9, of course, 6:30 UK for D1 and D3, and 8:10, the usual time for Division 2 and Division 4. But that is going to be it for round number 7. I'd like to thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys later.